Hello and welcome back to Own Guard Solutions. This time I thought I would take a minute to show you how to change a battery in your pistol's red dot. Specifically, I'm going to be dealing with my HE508T and the Holosun HE508T that I put on this weapon and all of my carries because I want that consistency for my sighting system across all of them. And we've talked about that in some of our previous videos when talking about the red dots. But the good news is that what I'm going to show you, the techniques for replacing the battery in the 508T, is the same for the 407, the 507, the 508, and even the 509. And the good news is too, not only is the procedure of changing the battery the same, but all four of those families of red dots take the lithium CR1632, which was great. And the other nice thing about all of these Holosun red dots is, unlike some of the red dots on the market today, you can access the battery simply by going into the side. So you don't have to remove the red dot from your weapon and run the risk of needing to resight every time you change a battery. Now, you shouldn't have to change a battery very often in red dots because their power consumption, theoretically at least, should be relatively low. Holosun specifically says that if you're using their ring and dot sight in their red dots, that you can expect approximately 20,000 hours, which seems like a whole lot. It's kind of hard to believe. But again, the power consumption should be relatively low. And then if you're just using the dot, say on a medium setting of around 5 or 6, no more than 5 or 6, you can expect up to 50,000 hours of battery life. So you're not, technically, you shouldn't have to expect to replace any of these batteries very often. I would suggest using a brand name battery when you do switch them out. Holosun actually has included with their sights a Holosun 1632, at least for those four that I mentioned. I doubt very seriously that Holosun is making their own batteries, but nonetheless, that's what's come in this. And I wound up putting a Duracell in, just in the spirit of transparency. With that being said, I was surprised that this red dot died, batteries died on me so soon. It could be that it was the Holosun battery and it just doesn't have the life. And again, I don't know who's making those batteries for them. Or, you know, I have read that the 508T can have battery consumption issues, but it seems like too soon no matter. I can guarantee you I have not had this firearm for 50,000 hours yet, and I certainly haven't had this 508T mounted to the firearm for 50,000 hours yet. And I do run just the dot sight, and I don't go above medium power. There's no need to. So yeah, recently I changed it out and thought I'd come in here and show you how to change it. And so with that, we'll get started. So stick around. Okay, we're back. This is my trusty HE508T, and you can see I have the Holosun 508T. In this case, I'm running a green dot. Not that that really matters for this video today, but at any rate, one of the things I want to do first is ensure this weapon is unloaded and cleared and ready to be worked on. Again, I never have ammo for the weapon that I'm working on or cleaning in the same room, nor any magazines. This is no exception. Magazines not in the weapon at this point in time. Just going to rack the slide a few times, and then hopefully too, even you can see down in the chamber that it's empty, nothing in there. So I can confirm that this weapon is indeed unloaded and ready to be worked on. So yeah, the nice thing about the Holosun is that unlike many of the red dots, or at least a few of the red dots on the market today, The access port to get to the battery is here on the side, and on some of the brands out there, the battery access is actually on the bottom of the sight, which means you've got to remove the red dot from the weapon in order to get to the battery compartment, and then potentially, you know, you might need to look to resight that after it being removed and placed back on again. So hopefully that's the exception, not the rule, but nonetheless, Holosun makes this much easier in my opinion. I don't have to take it off the weapon, and that was quite honestly one of the big selling points for me, in addition to the solar option and the shake awake, etc. Holosun includes a little tool that has a Torx, I'm assuming this is the T10 size, that works with the screws that come with their sights. And then on this side, there's kind of a, dare I say, a flathead screwdriver, but just a flat piece. And so we're going to use this. You can see that the sight does take a slotted or grooved screw head. And so we're going to use the tool that came with it. Of course, if you have them instead, or if you lost this tool or can't find it, you can use smaller flathead screwdrivers that work just fine. But today I'm going to use this tool. I recommend taking the tools, if you happen to have Holosuns and you get a tool like this, and this did come with the 508, I assume it comes with at least some of their others. I'm going to suggest that you keep this in your one of these in your range bag, and then if you have multiple Holosuns, keep one in your gun cleaning kit too, because when you need them, you want to be sure to have them. So what I'm going to do is take this, and it's a tiny and very short screw, so you don't want to lose it. Be careful, so it just takes a few turns to get it loose. I'm going to make sure I keep an eyeball on that. And then hopefully you can see, I'm going to try to make this where you can see it, but on both sides here where you took the screw out, there's a little notch, and it just so happens that the flat side of this tool fits perfectly in there. And what you're going to do is put that in that notch and then pull towards you in a sweeping motion, and do it very slow because this thing might pop out on you. You're going to pull out essentially the battery tray because the door is attached to the tray that the battery's in. And so this is what you got, and it's kind of hard to do. I prefer trying not to touch the positive or the negative side of these coin batteries. Sometimes it's unavoidable, but you can see here the tray that it sits down in, and hopefully the light's right for you. But if you notice on both arms of the tray, there's a little plus sign in there. And basically that's telling you that the positive side of the battery, that's the negative of these, and oops, and that's the positive. The positive side of the coin battery, and again, this is a lithium CR1632, is going to go face down in this tray. So you want to make sure basically you're putting the positive of the battery down on top of the positive of the plus signs. That's the way to look at it. And then it's as simple as lining it back up to go back in its home, pushing it in all the way, and then taking that screw and tightening back up again. Sometimes with bolts and screws, especially smaller screws, I like to go left first just to kind of make sure the threads get better lined up. You can kind of feel it when it seats, and you'll sometimes hear a little popping, and then I'll go right to tighten, righty-tighty, right? And this is one you don't really have to crank down on super hard. Just want to snug up really good because again, you want to keep you know, this tight to keep water and moisture out. And it's a good idea to check that screw once in a while. The threads are so short, I don't know if it's worth putting blue Loctite on there or something. You might do that, but again, you're going to need to change the battery at least sometime. So That's all there is to it to changing that battery. Of course, you're not going to be able to see it very well on camera here, but the green dot is working yet again, and that's all there is to it. Like I said, I recommend keeping one or two of these tools handy and around where you know you can get to them when you need them. I would say to steer clear of the off-brand or smaller name brand batteries and go with something big. I have read that there has been some issues with some brand of batteries not being able to handle the recoil in here. I don't know if that's so much a battery issue as it is a connectivity issue perhaps, and I don't think that that's probably a very common or very frequent occurrence, but nonetheless, just some things to be looking for, and monitor that battery life. Certainly it's a good idea, especially if you carry for defensive purposes, to get in the habit of regularly looking at your red dot to make sure it comes on and is working. It's not getting dull, it's not flickering, and most importantly, like I discovered, it's not just off completely. So with that, if you liked what you've seen here today, be sure to like this video below. Leave us any comments that you have, good or bad. We'd love to hear from you. And subscribe to our channel so you can stay up to date when we release new videos like this one. We appreciate you being here. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you soon.